Good morning, everyone. So I just finished church and I just have a few minutes until I have to leave for work, but just wanted to sit down and have a chat. So right now it is January 2nd and I'm gonna probably wait to post this until next week, Sunday. Anyway, so this is past Karen talking to you. I just thought I would kind of do a little chat about some of the changes that I'm making this year to try and be like more in flow with like myself, with the universe, with just like my approach to life being a bit different, I guess. And so content warning, I'm going to be talking about periods. So if that's not something you're into, then just stick around, look for other booktube content, but this video is probably not going to be that much into books. So anyway, January 1st, I should have known it was coming because a day or two before I had extreme nesting, which happens a lot to me. Like once a month I will like extreme nest. And then on January 1st, I was feeling like what I would call itchy, which doesn't actually mean physically itchy, but it's just like an unsatisfied feeling. Like I felt like there was so much pressure on me from nobody to come up with the perfect first book to read on January 1st. And I went for a walk that day and I was talking to my mom and she was talking about like, oh yeah, I'm just reading, like, what are you reading, blah, blah. And I just thought of how lovely for her for January 1st to just be another day where she just reads whatever she wants. And for me, I was so fixated on like the best of 2022. Like, what can I read that will possibly be on my best of the year list? So like, yeah, reading for pleasure, but also just being really aware of that I will never be able to read all the books, and then I need to choose the books that are going to fulfill me the most, or at least have the most potential to fulfill me. And I was just like not feeling what I was reading, and I already DNF'd like a few books on New Year's Eve, and I DNF'd one book that I was reading for the Undercover Reading Challenge, or prompt, whatever, on New Year's Day. And I was just so mad that I DNF'd a book on New Year's Day. So I was just like kind of feeling like itchy and kind of like grumpy that like the end of winter vacation was here. So yeah, that was that. And then I actually found a book that I'm really, really excited about. Actually two. When I went for my walk, I ended up putting on Bill Gates's book. I always forget what it's called. How to Avoid a Climate Disaster, I think is what it's called. And at first it was like, then it started getting really good and I've just been really enjoying that. So I was listening to that, and then I wanted to pair it with like a physical book. And so I picked out a just kind of fantasy-ish sort of book, and I'm really enjoying it. It's called The Kingdoms. It's over there. And it's by Natasha Pulley. It was just really fulfilling and I wanted to keep reading, and I was also aware that like my winter break was coming to a close. Like this was on Saturday and I was just like really, really tired, and so I ended up falling asleep on the couch and just taking a nap, but I like couldn't pull myself out of the nap. Like I was like, okay, I can't waste my time. I want to read and enjoy myself. And I just was having such a hard time like fully waking up enough to like move from the couch. So then when I finally did wake up from my nap, I went to the bathroom and there she was, my period had come. So that's what I want to talk about a little bit today, is just how basically last year I kind of dabbled into rearranging my life based on my cycle, or not really rearranging, but just like making sure that things sync really well. And this year I'm taking it more seriously. So I just wanted to talk about what am I doing like this week? What have I changed for this week since I'm on my period? And then also like, how do I prepare for the year ahead of time? Because one of the things that I noticed for me is I have all these jobs. And now that I'm out of credit card debt, I can easily, bye. but I love them so much. They are so fulfilling and so rewarding for me, and like just give me a sparkle that I want to keep. So yeah, like how do I manage all those jobs? Because what would happen is I would be like, I would looking at a day individually on my calendar, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm free, I can do that. And then when I would zoom out, I would notice like, hang on, I haven't given myself a day off in like 21 days or something. Like it just got insane. So anyway, so for now, right, you, according to this book, period power, are supposed to kind of go inward when it is the start of your cycle. And I'm trying to see if I can quickly find a quote because I didn't really prepare for this, but basically she says that the process of starting to bleed pulls you into yourself. And there's another person that she really likes who gave a beautiful quote. Oh, Alexandra Pope explains that menstruation is when the outer lights of the world turn down and our inner lights go up. And for our inner lights to be their most bright, they require darkness. So it's just this time to allow yourself to just nurture yourself and take care of yourself and just be quiet. And it is interesting. I did have a few very, very, very reflective, deep, meditative sort of days right before this. I would say Friday for sure. Like I was like deep in meditation almost the whole day. Like not like in meditation, but just in a really reflective state. So it's kind of cool to me that when I actually do listen to my body, stuff happens, or I'm pulled in a direction harder during certain times than I would otherwise. And then when I zoom out and like think about it, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense actually, that on Friday I was super, super meditative and deep and whatever. So anyway, so church, okay? Today is Sunday, and one of the things that I want to do for this year is just to make sure that I'm fulfilling my spiritual needs, growing spiritually, all that stuff. So that means that I want to put more of an emphasis on going to church every single week. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm forcing myself to go to church every Sunday, because I'm not about that life. It just means I'm encouraging myself to fill myself up in some kind of way every Sunday in that way, because as a Christian, like all this woo-woo stuff I'm into that a lot of Christians are against, it actually like connects me deeper to God and all that sort of stuff. So going to church in a traditional way and all that sort of stuff is still important to me. But with that being said, my church is a half hour away from me, and it involves getting up and being somewhere and being by people and blah, blah, blah. So today, what I did is I watched it online, and it's actually still going on right now, but I just watched until like the end of the sermon and then going about my life. So that's one way that I can still do what is important to me, but just do it in a different way that meets the needs of where I am right now in my cycle. The other thing is I was planning on going to yoga Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday every single week. And I love yoga. Yoga fills me up and just like brightens me and soothes me and calms me and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of a work day, it's something I have to go to. I can't go home and relax. I need to go somewhere. And so what I'm going to do is basically days 1 through 4. So until like, Monday and Tuesday, I'm not going to go to yoga after work. I'm just going to come home. And I can do yoga at home if I want to, or I can just read or chill or whatever. I just like to be able to go home after work and not do anything. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, that's just like another way that I'm kind of using where I am in my cycle to impact my life. Okay, the other area is work. So obviously, like as a teacher and as a working human being, like you can't call in sick once a month. But with all these other side gigs, like I said, that bring me so much joy. I am changing those a little bit. And I'll talk more about how I plan going forward in a second. But just for this week, I'm not going to work for my gig where I basically work a certain number of hours a week whenever I want. I'm not going to do that on like Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to hold that for later in the week and get my hours done later in the week. So that's one thing. As far as like my other job at the nature center and with reservations, luckily for reservations, I don't have anything going on this week. And for the nature center, I actually need to leave for there in about 10 minutes. But I mean, yeah, I'm just going to take it easy before and after. So that's that. I did some reading, meditation, chill time this morning. So there's that. Okay. So going forward, basically what I have done, and again, this kind of relates to my cycle, but my cycle could change, is I went through the entire year and I kept track of like, where is the new moon? And I put that on my calendar as like an interval, 2 days before, 2 days after. So there's 5 days, like basically once a month, essentially. I think there's 2 this month. Anyway, where I just have in my calendar documented that that's a new moon, and that kind of guides me to not overbooking those times of the month. In addition, for my work where I do have more choice, I made sure that I requested 1 day off every single month, and that is for like a solo day where I'm not going to make plans. Like maybe I'll float, maybe I'll do something for myself, but at this point, like I'm not planning ahead. The only planning ahead I'm doing is to make sure that 1 day a month I'm not working and I can just do whatever. And I won't schedule social plans that day either, because I just want a chill day by myself to read and meditate. So that's kind of what I'm doing as far as going forward, just to make sure that I have some protected time for myself. Yeah, let me know what questions you guys have, and also like, how do you make this work for you? Because I know I have a lot of friends on YouTube that have started to kind of sync their life with their cycles a bit more. The only problem, well, it's a slight problem, when I should be ready for my next one, it is going to be basically when I'm going to the 90s grown up, like, not, I was gonna say readathon, but the book fair thing that I'm going to with my best friend from Wisconsin. So like ideally that little chunk of time would be a time when you would try and avoid making social plans. In addition, I think astrology says it's a really bad time to travel. But I'm sorry, like I'm not to the point where I am saying no to that like extreme level. So I'm just gonna try and make sure I take care of myself on the way home and just have a really nurturing like ride home from her house and try and chill in the car, because yeah, I don't want to sacrifice hanging out with a friend and going to a book festival just because of the timing not being ideal. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think. And again, some of my ideas came from here and also from other booktubers I follow. I think Charlotte from Bookish Mama Blooms has talked about this, and also I think her name is Femhead or something. She talks about it a lot. So yeah, I will see you guys soon. Bye.